The morning sun poured through the tall glass windows of the Lexington estate, glinting off marble floors and expensive chandeliers. But the beauty of the mansion couldn't hide the chaos within it. "Lila!" "Lana, stop right there," a frantic nanny shouted, chasing two giggling little girls down the hall. They were identical, from their bouncing curls to their mischievous smiles. The twins darted around the dining table, knocking over a vase full of roses. Water spilled everywhere, petals scattered like tiny hearts on the floor. The nanny gave up out of breath. "I can't do this anymore. They're impossible." At the top of the grand staircase, Alexander Grant, the CEO of a powerful investment firm, stood in silence, watching it unfold. His jaw was tight, his dark suit immaculate, his expression carved from stone. It wasn't the first time. It wouldn't be the last. He dismissed the nanny with a weary sigh. Another one gone. 7 in 6 months. After his wife died 2 years ago, his daughters had changed. Their laughter became rebellion, their innocence replaced by loneliness they didn't know how to name. And he had buried himself in work, pretending that meetings and deadlines could fill the emptiness. That night, after everyone had left, the only sound in the mansion was the soft hum of the vacuum and the distant ticking of a clock. Sophie Lane, a single mom working the night shift as a janitor, moved quietly through the hall. Her hands were rough from cleaning, her shoes worn, but her eyes were gentle, the kind that had known pain and still chose kindness. When she entered the playroom, she froze. The twins were there, sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by torn papers, spilled glitter, and a broken picture frame. She hesitated, then smiled softly. "Hey, that's quite a masterpiece you've made." The girls looked up, suspicious. "Are you going to tell on us?" Lila asked, chin raised defiantly. Sophie shook her head. "No, but maybe I can help you make it prettier." She picked up a broom, tied a ribbon to the end, and began spinning it like a wand. "You know," she said, her tone playful, "when I was your age I made messes too. My mom said artists start that way." The twins stared, then giggled as Sophie spun around dramatically, pretending to cast a cleaning spell. "Sparkle, sweep, and shine," she whispered. The girls laughed so hard they fell over. For the first time in months, laughter filled the mansion, light and unguarded. Upstairs, Alexander paused mid-email. That sound. It was like hearing sunlight. He stood and slowly walked to the banister, watching his daughters laugh with a woman in a faded uniform. He didn't know who she was. But somehow, in one small moment, she had done what no one else could. She had made his home feel alive again. Weeks passed, and the Lexington mansion began to change. The halls that once echoed with silence now rang with music and laughter. Sophie didn't just clean anymore. She painted with the twins, told them bedtime stories, taught them to make paper flowers and pancake faces. Sometimes, she even hummed lullabies as she worked, the same ones she used to sing to her own son before he grew up and moved away. The staff noticed. The girls listened now. They said please and thank you and even helped carry things. One rainy afternoon, Alexander came home early. He stopped in the doorway of the art room, quietly watching. The twins were sitting at a low table covered in colorful paint, carefully decorating small wooden boxes. Sophie knelt beside them, guiding their tiny hands. "What are you making?" he asked, his voice gentle but unfamiliar to himself. Lana looked up, smiling. "We're making memory boxes for Mommy. Sophie said we can keep the happy things inside so they don't get lost." Alexander's throat tightened. He stepped closer. The boxes were painted with hearts and stars, shaky, imperfect, beautiful. One had a photo of his late wife glued to the lid. He turned to Sophie, who was quietly wiping paint from Lila's cheek. "You've done something no one else could," he said softly. She smiled. "I didn't do anything special, Mr. Grant. I just listened." He studied her, the kindness in her tired eyes, the warmth in her smile. For a moment he wondered how he hadn't noticed her before. The twins tugged at his sleeve. "Daddy, can Sophie stay for dinner, please?" He looked down at their pleading faces, then back at Sophie. She looked startled, hesitant, but Alexander only nodded. Yes, she should. That night, as laughter filled the dining hall, Alexander realized something profound. The woman who came to clean his floors had quietly swept the dust from his heart.